The biggest mistakes artists make on social media. Welcome to a new video, and today we're going to talk about the sweet trap of virality online and how artists can fall into it. And I've fallen into it myself many times, and I want to share some perspective on it and how can you avoid it in the future, and what are some of the metrics you should actually follow if you're trying to monetize your art animation project online. So let's dive into it. And if you're new to this channel, I am Dragana. I was an ex-3D animator for 10 years, and now I'm doing content creation full time, and I've been doing content for the past 3 years. And in the past 7 months, I've been monetizing my own first product, animation for social media, where I'm teaching artists how to promote their own project online, build their personal brand as an artist, get a funding for their project, and so on. And in the last cohort of animation for social media, a topic popped up, and it's a common theme that keeps popping up, and I wanted to share here with you as well. And that is differentiating the short-term and the long-term game on social media. And for that, as always, I'm going to give you some examples, so I'm not just blabbering into the camera. So that's my attempt to make these videos more interesting. So short-term success, what does that exactly mean for me and for my artist? That always means visibility and views. And even that itself, of course, it's not easy, but it's easier than longevity, trust, audience trust, loyalty, and so on. So yeah, views are kind of the first step, trust and loyalty is the second step, and then third step is monetization. And I just want to point your attention into the direction of some of the really successful IPs online, or creatives or animators online that have a lot of views. However, there's a caveat to it. So first example I want to show you is this super gorgeous animated film in the making, Solace. It's absolutely amazing. Like, if you take a look at the visuals, it's just stunning. So yeah, I really love it. And sometimes when you have a short film like this with such a novel visual look, that alone, without any storytelling, without any context, can have a lot of reach and a lot of visibility. As you can see, 500,000 views, 200,000 views, just because the visuals are so novel. And if you are lucky in that sense that your short film or your illustrations or ZBrush sculpts or whatever you may be doing are hitting that novelty trigger in the viewer, so you don't have to do any extra work in terms of storytelling, then kudos to you. However, not every artist will fall into that bucket, and they will have to do a little more effort on the storytelling side. Another example of this is this account, Olof Berman. He is a director, character animator on SpongeBob, or he worked on SpongeBob, I'm not really sure, but I'm mentioning him because from a social media perspective, in terms of he built a huge following, mostly by doing these split screen videos, and they are super engaging for the audience because they have a big contrast between the render and the viewport. Yeah, he has a lot of these quirky characters and a lot of these exaggerated gestures. So animations alone are eye-catchy, and as you can see, a lot of them have a big reach as well. So all of this is great in terms of visibility. And I'm just taking a hint here that he is someone who has a full-time job or working in a studio or for clients. So he's not looking to monetize through his community necessarily. And when your goal is that to just get to clients and really improve your craft as much as possible, then a format like this and optimizing for views like this absolutely work, and you should absolutely go for it. And both of these profiles did a really good job at that. If their goal was just to raise visibility and just to, get to their clients or someone who might be interested in partnering with them, that's absolutely amazing. However, I do want to point out in terms of monetization and in terms of longevity on social media. For any type of monetization, you need the audience to know you and to trust you. And people think, oh, it's just a $2 Patreon support or $5 Patreon support. The amount of it doesn't matter. That's something I realized in my own small business now, that it doesn't matter the price. I can have a lower ticket price, like the storytelling workshop I did a couple of weeks ago. And by the way, this is an hour and a half storytelling masterclass, honestly, that I did for artists and animators online, where I shared the blueprint behind some of my most successful stories online, but I also shared how that same blueprint brought me a lot of flops. I show you what is actually the real difference, so you guys don't fall into the trap thinking, oh, I just need a simple blueprint, but I'm actually teaching you how to pull from your own genuine experience and use the story structure just as handrails, not as a set in stone guidelines. And I'm walking you through how that works on Instagram stories, Reels, LinkedIn feed, but also most importantly, how that works for your demo reels, portfolio online, and how can you use that same principles to boost visibility of your animations or illustrations or IPs online. And you can sign for the workshop recording here if you just fill out this Google form. The price is 47 euros, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Now let's get back to the video. Or a high ticket program like my coaching program is, it doesn't really matter for each of the product. You have to address for who it is, why should they matter, who are you to sell it, why should you teach them, why should they care, what are you getting. So in these examples, if they ever try to monetize it in some sense, I would need to know more deeply who the people are behind making the short film, who this character is. So I would need some sort of story. That's the whole point. Some sort of story about either the character lores, like what's up with this girl, where does she come from, what's her relationship with the wolf, why does she have scars? Why does she have dirt on it? So that's something a creator needs to decide, whether the product is going to be the character of the show or the creator itself. So they are talking about themselves behind the scenes of making the movie and so on, or it can be even blend of both. So it really depends on what their content strategy is. But it's kind of the same thing for this amazing animator and director. If they ever wanted to monetize on social media in terms of civilian, Patreon community, Kickstarter or something, we would need to know who Olaf is. What are some of his brand values? How does that connect to his audience, and so on? Because split screens, they're very visually and interesting to watch, but they don't have that deeper connection with the creator. And if you want to do something like that, then I suggest doing something like my client here is doing, Carolina. She has this absolutely stunning IP, Euphony, that she's creating, and she has her own Patreon community where she's inviting subscribers to come in, so absolutely check it out. But basically she's talking about the character lore, what's happening between, in her case, she has a bard character and some spirits who are trapped, and the bard has to release them and so on. And then she talks a lot about herself, why she likes to paint outside. She even has a story about her dad, what's her history behind this project, why she got into drawing, why she got into music. So the audience is starting to connect deeper, not just who the characters are, but they're starting to get a sense of who she is as an artist, and connecting with her and her project on other levels, other emotional levels that are not purely related to the product itself that she is creating. And that's a bond that's going to be way stronger than just beautiful visuals. Good story with beautiful visuals is what makes something monetizable. Another example is my client Vanessa. She is a 3D animator, but she also has a lot of arts and craft and hobbies on the side. And she was looking how to combine all of that. She likes to do a lot of ZBrush sculpting and and drawing. Plus, she has an Etsy shop where she's selling all these cute widgets. So we were looking how to combine all her hobbies without amputating all her art interests and combining that into one coherent umbrella. And we talk a lot about her as well. Who is she as an artist? What was she struggling? Where was her beginning? She's not just someone who draws. And again, in the era of AI, we are in the business of showing we are humans and that we actually crafted it ourselves with our own hands. And what is our story behind it? Why are we making this art? Why should the audience care? Especially if, again, when she's trying to sell some of these widgets, the audience needs to connect with her on the brand values. They need to see some of the struggles she's experiencing or aspire in some aspect of her life that they would like to have as well. And that's something that creates a subconscious story behind the product they will buy later on. Or the next example is another one of my clients who is an Unreal specialist, and he does a lot of these realistic Unreal animations. And he's someone, for example, who doesn't have a lot of posts about himself necessarily, because his goal is mainly to attract clients. And we are using his work as a hook, which is absolutely necessary. That needs to attract someone who would like real-time unrealistic rendering specialist. And then once they're there on his profile, they also need to see, oh, there's a human behind it, there's someone who made this. Let's see some of his values and stories and characteristic. Are we going to be a good fit for it? How did you make this? Again, is this AI or not? How long did you took it to make this? So showing some behind the process, some the behind the scenes process as well. Also showing some of the tools you're using. So again, that type of content is less in his overall content strategy because his work is kind of in the focus, but just something to give you perspective how it really differs what your goal on social media is and how views can be a really false metric to be guided by if you're trying to monetize something. Whether that's going to be monetization through clients, through Etsy shop, or through Patreon community, doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'm interested in what your goal on social media is as an artist, and do you just want to have a short-term success? Because that's completely fine. You just need to be prepared with expectations for that. And again, how long is going to take you to learn how to have immediately high reach video? That's also a skill on its own. But by the time you actually learn that skill, then it might as well, you can monetize it and earn some trust with your audience as well. So yeah, I would always advise the long-term game if you are new at it. But if you're someone who already knows what they're doing and just needs a little bit of boost to improve their storytelling, or yeah, just a small nudge, then it's better to play the short-term game and just get as much visibility as possible, especially if you are doing a campaign before animation festival, or you want to, before a specific launch or a specific conference that you're aiming for. So it really depends what your goal is. And whatever you decide, I want to invite you to join in my one-on-one coaching when I help you scale your visibility online, set up your social media strategy, set up your monetization model and all of that. So you can definitely check more more info in the link below. And if you have any questions, feel free to schedule a 20-minute discovery call where you can ask me questions and see if we are the right fit and how can I best help you. So if you have an IP online that you want to launch and you want people to hear about it, know about it, and you want to monetize it down the line, whether that's going to be through funding, finding some external partners and investors, or you want to crowdfund it, so Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Patreon, doesn't really matter, or you want to go through other routes, Etsy, delivering some products, merch, but you're still struggling with that first step, visibility and storytelling online and connecting with your audience and knowing what type of stories should you tell. Because, for example, in this Solace tale, there's many different ways how that story should be could be told depending on the audience you want to target. So it's all about having a goal in mind and engineering everything from there so you can have the maximal success. That's something I can help you in my one-on-one coaching. And if you have any questions, you can always schedule a 20-minute discovery call below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Hope this was useful. And let me know in the comments how are you approaching social media and where are you struggling. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.